Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm bringing to you another candle making video. Every spring I feel inspired to try new fragrance oils and sometimes new containers just to see how I can freshen up and update my product line and bring customers, fragrances that are trending in addition to the ones that I normally carry. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to make two different candles with two new fragrance oils that I have been testing and I really like. And I'm going to show you a step-by-step tutorial of just how to make these candles. For my patrons this week, I'm going to be writing up a full detailed step-by-step tutorial on just how to make these candles. We're going to be using some candle embeds and a little bit of color, so I'll be writing up a full step-by-step tutorial along with the recipe. And you can access that full written tutorial and recipe on my Patreon campaign at just the $5 level. If you haven't visited my campaign yet, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to it in the description box below. There are 5 unique tiers to take advantage of, each with their own benefits. And the one that we're really excited about recently is the new $7 tier, where you can access everything, all recipes and tutorials that have ever been published over the last 2.5 years, along with a bonus recipe every month. But the $5 level does have access to all archived recipes and weekly recipes and tutorials. I really hope you'll give it a look. And we've built a wonderful community over there. It's a great way to support me and to help me bring you content that you like to see. All right, let's make some candles. All right, so before we get started, I wanted to share with you and showcase these beautiful candle vessels. These were all gifted to me by the company called 1617.com. They are absolutely gorgeous, upscale, and just very luxurious looking. So this collection here that I'm showing you is part of their Passion Print collection, which I've actually been wanting to try for a really long time. So the gift came at the perfect time. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you the different colors here that they have to offer. They hold about 15 ounces of wax, and they are just absolutely substantial and gorgeous. I know that they are a little bit more on the more expensive side of your candle vessels. However, these can be repurposed and used for all sorts of things. And because they're not painted glass, you can actually even use them as drinkware. And if you see here, they've got these beautiful flecks of gold. And you guys maybe saw in the background here, I'll give you a close-up of that in a little bit, of how they've been burning just so beautifully. So I am obsessed with all of these colors. Beautiful printed glass that's not painted, and I'm just really enjoying this collection. So I'm going to show you the rest of the colors here that they have to offer, and then I'm going to show you which ones I've selected for my demonstration purposes today. But I just really love all of them. I had a hard time choosing. They're just gorgeous. And these two are the same, but one is a little bit taller than the other. So what I've decided on, it was a hard choice, but what I've decided on today is this beautiful kind of blush colored light pink passion print, along with this kind of gold, beige, transparent kind of passion print here. And it's got these beautiful sparkles that really kind of glint in the light. And it's just absolutely beautiful. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use these two passion print containers. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and chop up our wax. I actually already know how much I have here. I have 30 ounces because we're going to be filling up the 2 containers that I showed you, and there should be a little bit left over after we add the fragrance oil in to pour into my little molds so that we can decorate the top with some embeds. So I'm actually just going to move this scale out of the way and just get this is going to be my pour pitcher. This is a pour pitcher I got from Candle Science, I think. And we're just gonna chop up this wax, put it in the container, and then we'll go on to the next step, which is to heat up the wax. So today I am using a coconut apricot wax blend, which I really, really like. You guys know I've shown you in the past year or so some videos using the coconut apricot wax. And I have actually tested this, these fragrance oils that I'm going to show you in some Parasoy, a Parasoy blend that actually also comes from the 1617.com, and they carry that wax all the time, the Parasoy blend. The apricot coconut wax, I absolutely love it. However, one of the downfalls is it's kind of a harder wax to find. So I think I got the batch that I'm using right now on Amazon. So if you are interested in this type of wax, do your homework, search around. Sometimes it can be hard to come by. If you want more consistency in your product line and you don't want to worry about where to purchase this one all the time, I really suggest trying out the Parasoy blend from the 1617 with the fragrances also that I'm going to be using today. They work great in both the coconut apricot that I'm showing you here, along with the Parasoy blend that 1617 carries all the time. So we're just going to go ahead and chop up our 30 ounces of container blend wax. Okay, now that everything is into my melt pot, we're going to go ahead and put this over direct heat on the stove on low. So I'll bring you over there in just a minute. All right, while my wax is slowly melting down, this is a great time to wick your candles. However, you can do it before you start heating up. Just make sure you get it done before, obviously, you pour the candles. So I'm using some wick stickers today. I got these from Candle Science. If you've seen a lot of my older videos, you guys know that I used to use hot glue. I have since switched to the wick stickers, the low profile wick stickers. I haven't had any issue with them whatsoever. And then to place my wicks in, I'm going to be using the wick kit system, also from the 1617.com. This gets your candle wicks placed perfectly every single time. I'm going to demonstrate how to use that right now. So this kit particularly goes with the Evermore collection, the Evermore cylinders that 1617 sells. However, you can repurpose these to fit several of their candle vessels, and you can also use it in the passion prints. So all you're going to do is place this piece down to the bottom, and just for this one, it doesn't fit exactly around the bottom. You just have to kind of center it. I'll show you what I mean by that. It doesn't go to the edges. It kind of has space in between. So what you want to do is just go ahead and center it the best you can, right in the middle. Same with this one. And then for our wicks today, I am using the CDN size 4. CDN size 4, and you can actually also pick this up at the 1617.com. And what I really like about that website, on the 1617.com website, each container with their wax blend, the Parasoy, each container they give you a suggested wick size, and then they also carry the wicks that they suggest you use. And let me tell you, it makes life so much easier, and it has worked. All their suggestions work beautifully. So if you want just hassle-free candle making, their website is a great resource. So I am just placing the sticker on the bottom of the wick like so, and then I'm going to go ahead and center my wick right into this circle here, lining it up, making sure it's sticking. So we're double wicking this container, and I have found the double wicks in the size that they recommend, the CDN4, work really, really good with the fragrance oils that we're going to be using today. Okay, so then you're just going to lift this base out, make sure these are thoroughly stuck, And then it has a top to hold the wicks in place, which is brilliant. So we're just gonna drag the wick through this little piece here and stick it down, and same with the other side. And there you have a beautifully, perfectly wicked candle that's ready to be poured into. All right, and then we'll just do the same for this beautiful one here. I'll put a link to the 1617 website in the description box for you guys. They just have so many beautiful options to take advantage of. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this placed. And again, I know the initial investment of these tools, might seem a little bit high, but I assure you, once you make your money back on it, once you start using them, you will be so impressed you'll never want to go back to wicking candles the old-fashioned way. Okay, we're just going to lift that out. Make sure these are nice and stuck. And then we're going to go ahead and place the wick holder on top. And there you go, another perfectly wicked vessel. All right, let's go ahead and check on our candle wax. All right, here we are at the stove, and we're slowly melting down this container wax on very, very low heat. We are wanting to get it all the way melted down and to a temperature of 200 degrees. Now, the 200-degree temperature is the same temperature for the Parasoy blend. So the coconut, apricot, and the Parasoy, you want to melt it down to 200 degrees in both cases. So the instructions are just the same. So right now we are not all the way melted down, but I'll bring you back when we are all melted down, we've reached 200 degrees, and we're ready to add our fragrance oil. Okay, so the wax is melted down and we're sitting at right around 205 degrees, and I went a little above 200 because I want to go ahead and split this batch into two different containers because we're going to be doing two different fragrance oils. So I got this new scale. You guys are always asking me about scales, and I never really recommend scales because I really haven't found one that I'm super happy with. This one is Nicewell by, I got it off Amazon. The brand is Nicewell, and it's kind of like a touch screen on it. I'm still testing it out, so I'm not exactly sure how I like it. So this is going in, we're pouring in 15 ounces into this container, and then I'm going to set this one aside because we may need to reheat it to bring it back up to 200 for the second fragrance oil. So let me just go ahead and get my 15 ounces in. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside. And then the first fragrance oil we're going to be working with is also from 1617.com, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm obsessed with this fragrance oil. It's called Mojave. If you've ever been to the Mojave Desert, this really, really encapsulates the smell. If you think that the Mojave Desert has a smell, this is it. It's gorgeous. It's got top notes of kind of like a grapefruit to me. I smell grapefruit and also like a peppery note. And then it says it has bottom notes of Palo Santo. So we are adding this in at a 10% fragrance load. So for 15 ounces, that's 1.5 ounces of fragrance per 15 ounces of wax. I can't tell you, this is like a modern type fragrance oil. That's the only way I can really describe it. It's not your traditional kind of fragrance that you're gonna find. And you know, I use a lot of traditional fragrance oils. There's nothing wrong with that. So we're just gonna go ahead and give this a stir. However, if you're looking for a really modern and unique fragrance that not a lot of people have, I highly recommend the Mojave from 1617. It just smells so good. It's fresh and clean smelling, but not like clean clothes, which is also a nice fragrance to use, but it's like clean and crisp smelling, but it's got like that kind of pink grapefruit, but it's anchored by a peppery note, and it's just gorgeous. And I do kind of pick up the sandalwood, but I guess I wouldn't have picked up the sandalwood necessarily if I didn't read the description. To me, it's mostly grapefruit and pepper, and it just is an awesome combination. And again, if you've ever been to the Mojave Desert, the name describes it perfectly. The fragrance, you definitely do think of the Mojave area, which is just a gorgeous region of our country as well. So I'm actually going to pour the Mojave into this pink one here. No, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to pour it into this gorgeous kind of tan one here. And I'm going to move it over to the side because we do have one more candle and I don't want to disturb it after I pour it. So I'm just pouring directly down the center, being careful to avoid the wicks. And there's plenty of space in this vessel. So we're going to pour it. You don't want to go all the way to the top, but that's good. And we have a little tiny bit left over, which will be perfect for an embed. So we're just going to allow that to sit, and then I'll bring you right back when we're ready to pour the next candle. Okay, so we did, as predicted, have to reheat this one back up to temperature. It's really important that you follow the directions on the temperature that the website recommends for adding fragrance in. It really does help with scent throw. So if you're someone that's struggling with scent throw issues, follow the manufacturer's directions on when to add the fragrance oil in. And in this case, it's 200 degrees, and it's the same as the Parasoy blend. I'm using fragrance oil number 2, which is actually from Nature's Garden. And this one is called Sex on the Beach. And it's a beautiful tropical drink kind of fragrance. However, I wouldn't really describe it that way when the candle's burning. Like out of the bottle, it's got a real top note of tropical fruit and a tropical fruit type of drink. However, I think when it's burning, it smells a little bit more mellowed out, but certainly full-bodied and gorgeous. It fills up a room, and it smells, it kind of has a little bit of a, I wish I had the fragrance notes in front of me on this one, because it's got a little bit of a like cranberry bottom note, but it's kind of a spiced, and it anchors it really nicely. It's kind of a spiced kind of cranberry note, but the top notes are just juicy, tropical drink. Reminds you of kind of being on vacation. And I think when it's burning, it just has a lovely kind of complex smell. I kind of feel like you would smell this walking into a high-end department store where they might have a fancy candle burning, or even like a candle shop. You might find something like this burning. It's just very nice. Okay. And oddly, when you burn the Mojave candle and the Sex on the Beach candle in the same room or close to the same room, they actually are compatible and kind of smell good burning together. So it's just interesting how that worked out. I think because they both kind of have that spice to it. Okay, and we're going to stop right there. Beautiful. All right, and we're going to let these two candles set up almost completely, and then we are going to be making embeds to go along with the top. We're going to be putting on a hibiscus flower on the tropical smelling one. And we're going to be using the cactus embed here for the Mojave one. So I will bring you back when we are ready to make those embeds. All right, we are back. The candles have set up now to just around room temperature. I would not consider them completely set up because they take, you know, several hours, even overnight, to completely set up. But they are set up enough for me to move out of the way and make our little embeds to go on top. So I have here 2 little beakers of just the leftover melted wax. We're gonna go ahead and color the wax, and then we're going to make our embeds. So I am using colors from Sierra Candles. You guys know I love the colors that come from Sierra Candles. They're super concentrated. They're really easy to incorporate. I'm going to give you a little tip here. This is something I talked to Sierra Candles about when I went on my vacation back in October. So these colorants are so super concentrated. It's recommended that you start out with just a little bit on a toothpick or a skewer. Just like that. I'm just gonna put in a little tiny drop. I'm gonna stir it and see where that gets us. This is the coral color. And it is, that tiny bit has already colored the dye, but I think I'm actually, or colored the wax, I think I'm actually going to put a little bit more in there to make it more of a coral color. It's a little bit on the orange side for my liking, so I'm just going to try a little bit more there and just stir that in. So go slowly on this part and make sure you are, if you put a full drop in there from this dropper, it would be far too pigmented for that amount of wax. 1 drop is enough to color 1 whole pound of wax. So that's good. I don't want these colors too dark because I think that the lighter colors will go nicely with the glassware. So let me just go ahead and wipe up my little drips here. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and pour in our embed. So this is a hibiscus mold, and all I'm doing is I'm going to be pouring in the coral color into the hibiscus mold. I got this silicone mold from vanulay.com. I love their molds. I have enough candle wax here to fill up a little bit more than 1, so we're just going to fill it in. There we go. If we have too many, we'll just save them for another project. Okay. And then this one, we're going to be using the cactus. I don't think I'm going to fill the cactus all the way up to the top, however, because it is kind of a deep embed, and I just want a shallow, I want it to be shallow so it doesn't get too high on the candle. There, so I filled it, but not quite all the way to the top. Okay, and we're just going to allow these to set up, and then we'll remove them from the molds, and I'll show you how to attach them to the top of your candle. All right, so we're ready to go ahead and place the embeds into these candles, and I unmolded the hibiscus flowers, and I think they are super cute. I just love this coral color. I'm actually only going to use 1, but this is how cute they are. Super detailed and just a nice color. That's going to go in the pink one. And then when I unmolded the cactus ones, I actually don't like the way they came out. They look a little cartoonish to me, so I have remelted that wax and poured it into a little succulent mold. You guys have seen me use it before. So let's go ahead and do this one while that one, the succulents are setting up, and then I'll show you that one when they're all set up and ready to be placed into the candle. So what I have here is a heat gun, and I'm going to be placing my flower right around here in this little section. So I'm just going to turn my heat gun on low because the candle still, again, isn't all the way set up, so we shouldn't have any issue melting down a little bit of wax here, and then we're going to adhere the flower into that little melted down section. It does set up rather quickly after you melt it, so you have to be kind of quick. And there you go. And I may just turn this back on and just kind of melt down the edges again, just to kind of make sure it's fully adhered. And there you go. We've placed a beautiful hibiscus flower right into this candle. So it's so cute. And I'm just going to set this one aside and let it fully set up. And then I'll show you a close-up, and then after a little while we'll go ahead and put the succulent one in the other candle. Okay, so for the next one we're going to be using this little succulent embed that we made with this mold. You guys have seen me use this before. I picked this up on Amazon. It's a Wilton brand, and it has little holes in it, as you can see. Intentionally I didn't fill it up all the way because we're going to be placing this right over the wick, and I wanted to leave a hole in there so that we can thread it down over the wick. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the same thing, turning on our heat gun, just kind of smoothing out this top because I've been playing around with it for a minute. And then getting this piece kind of melted down. Just like that. And there you go. That is how you make these beautiful candles using 1617 vessels with embeds. Here's a little close-up for you. I just think they turned out super cute. And we're going to allow these to set up overnight. And then if you want to stay tuned, I'm going to go ahead and do a little test burn so you can see what they look like after they burn for a few hours. All right, see you soon. Okay, these candles have been curing now for about 24 hours, and I'm going to go ahead and light them for you so that you can see how well they burn. Ordinarily, you would allow these to cure for 2 weeks for a fully developed scent throw. And I do notice that that does make a bit of a difference in the scent throw. So we're gonna go ahead and light these. Isn't that so gorgeous? And you'll see the color from the embeds just makes a really nice, interesting kind of melt pool in there. So I'll bring you back and show you progress updates as this goes along. Okay, so these have been burning now for about 1 hour, and as you can see, we're getting a nice pool of wax, and those little embeds are almost melted all the way down and adding a nice little touch of color to the wax. And the flame looks perfect. It's not too high, there's no smoking, just gorgeous. So I'm gonna give this another couple hours to burn and get that wax melted all the way to the edges of the glass. I suspect that will take 4 or 5 hours. So I'll bring you back and I'll let you know how long that took when the wax is all the way to the edges of the glass. Okay, so these have been burning now for about 5 hours, and they hit the edges of the glass. The melted wax hit the edges of the glass about an hour ago. And as you can see, we have a nice, around a ½ inch deep of a melt pool. They smell fantastic. And as you can see, the flames are not too high and there's no smoking. So I'm very, very pleased with how these turned out. And that's how you make a beautiful candle using the passion print vessels from 1617. That concludes today's video. I hope you liked it. I hope it inspired you. If you learned something, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment or question below. Subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend. Catch you on the next video. Keep shining. Bye.